been lost? Maybe you wandered away from your parents when you were little, or you took a wrong turn when you were going somewhere new, or maybe you lost track of your friends at a concert in the crowd. Whatever your story is, it can be scary to realize that you're not sure where you are or how to get back again. And the same thing is true when it comes to our faith. You see, you and I were created to be close to the God who made us, the God who loves us. But we can wander, or at least we can feel like we're really far away from that God who created us. And so for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be looking at one chapter of the Bible. But in this chapter, there are some stories. And they're not historical stories, but they're really just stories that Jesus made up. He made them up so that he could teach a different and important truth. And this one in particular that we're looking at this week was directed at a group of very religious people called the Pharisees. And the Pharisees were super focused on following God's rules. And those are the laws, the hundreds of laws contained in the Jewish scriptures. These laws helped people not get lost. But in Jesus' opinion, the Pharisees had taken things too far. And though they worked hard to follow every law closely, they became arrogant, self-righteous, and dismissive of people who they believed were unholy. You see, the Pharisees were so obsessed with following God's laws that they missed the heart of them. And Jesus was often angry with the Pharisees for their lack of love, mercy, and compassion for others. So to the Pharisees, though, Jesus was an unholy troublemaker. He didn't follow every rule exactly the way that they thought he should. And he spent time with other unholy people instead of spending time with the holy Pharisees. You see, instead of dismissing the Pharisees for being jerks, even though they were, Jesus takes the time to tell them 3 stories to help them think differently. And the first one is about missing sheep. Imagine how difficult it would be to find one lost sheep in this huge space filled with valleys and steep cliffs. It would take a lot of time, effort, and attention. But this is what the shepherd in Jesus' story did. Even though he had 100 sheep to take care of, he noticed one when one of them was missing. And even though he knew it would be difficult, he searched for his lost sheep until he found it. And when he found his lost sheep, Jesus didn't say that the shepherd yelled at it or made fun of it or even punished it. In the story, the shepherd celebrated and lovingly carried that sheep home. And sometimes we're all like the sheep in Jesus' story, wandering away from the safety of God, our shepherd. And that's why Jesus describes the good shepherd the way that he does. Even though God has created hundreds of billions of people, God knows each and every one of us by name. And when you go missing, God notices. You're not insignificant to your divine shepherd. Even though changing and coming back to God can be difficult, Jesus never stops searching for us. He never gave up on you, and he never will. But when we admit and need help, God celebrates, and Jesus will always lovingly help us. Just like the shepherd in the parable notices his missing sheep, Jesus notices you. You who are sitting here thinking about how far you've wandered and wondering how you are going to get back, how you're going to find your way back, Jesus notices you. You who feel like no one in the world notices you, Jesus notices you. And you who are still trying to decide what you think about God, Jesus notices you.